Whose baby is this? Actually, whose idea was it to put a baby's face on here anyway? Is that CGI? Okay, this is way too far. I'm gonna have to rewind this. The lights are gonna be a little harsh, so you might want to close your eyes for this part. Don't worry. I'll tell you when you can open them. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll tell you when you can open them. Hey, how's it going? Hope you're well. Today we are going to Vegas, baby. Yes, Erski. As you can see, we are on board, about to take off. This was actually in December of 2023, so it's been a minute since I've actually recorded this, and the audio was kind of messed up too, so I'm just doing a whispered voice over everything. Hope that's okay. If you look really closely, you can sort of make out Dallas in the background, and that's because we are taking off from Dallas Love Field Airport. Fun fact about myself, never actually been on a plane before this, so this was actually my first time ever flying on one. It was super exciting. I don't travel often, which is something I want to change. I'd love to go and visit other places, both in and out of North America. I've only ever traveled to Mexico outside of the United States. Looks like we've built quite a bit of speed here, and we are off. Of course, I had to bring my Switch with me, got some Mario Kart laps in on the flight. Yeah, I'm a bit of a gamer, what can I say? Check out my other channel. What? Who said that? Link in the description. Okay, alright. No, but for real, I got a window seat, which was pretty cool. And the city lights at night were amazing. I know I'm not doing them any justice here, but they looked even better when they turned the lights off on the plane. And then there was this view. I mean, come on now, how amazing is that? Just a whole ocean of clouds. You could just lay down and float, 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 float across the sky. Pluck some off, eat it like cotton candy. And just like that, we've made it. Safe and sound. The one thing I wasn't looking forward to about flying was going through TSA. Just the hassle of having to take everything off and wait in line and all that jazz. And I get it, it's necessary. It still sucks though. They had one of my friends empty out his hydro flask, which was kind of funny. He only had water in it, but he had this fast pass thing or whatever though, so he got back through the line fairly quickly. That's where last year's Super Bowl was. I'm not looking forward to this year's. All I'm gonna say is I'm a Cowboys fan, so you already know what team I'm not rooting for. Anyway, we landed pretty early in the morning. Our flight was at 6 a.m. and we got to the airport like 3 hours before then. I didn't sleep at all because before that we had spent the night at my friend's apartment just chilling, eating pizza. By the way, there were 4 of us on this trip. Myself, my cousin, and 2 other friends. And now you two. Welcome along. Once we checked into our hotel, the very first spot we hit up was this Mexican place called Sayulitas. Took us a minute to decide on what to eat, but we ended up ordering this huge, massive, girthy thumbs up but it was a burrito filled with al pastor meat, hot Cheetos, fries, rolled up taquitos, and a bunch of other stuff. It was called La Bomba, or La Bomba, 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 La Bomba. I don't know how well you could tell from that picture, but I promise you it looked a lot bigger in person, boss. And we ended up splitting that thing between all of us, and we guzzled the whole thing down. No crumbs left. Definitely stopping at Sayuritas again if I'm ever back in Vegas. After brekkie, we walked the strip over to the Luxor Hotel, which is what you're seeing right now. And this, in my opinion, was probably the coolest looking hotel I saw. I mean, come on now, we're walking inside a freaking pyramid. There are rooms spiraling to the top over our heads. But this is not where we were staying though. Chris, same one stopped by TSA earlier. He actually works at a Marriott hotel and he was able to get a discount at the West Inn for us. So shout out to Chris. We exited through the bottom of the Sphinx, and I mean, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Like, I'm pretty sure I can see its nose hairs from here. We ended up at the Hershey store, and I loved this golden glow from the tinted windows here. It kind of gives off like a nice, warm vibe, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure none of us actually bought anything from here. I was contemplating getting a souvenir like a water bottle or something, but nothing really caught my eye. Lots of Reese's merchandise, though. I heard a lady actually sued the company not too long ago for false advertising because the pumpkin Reese's don't have a carved face on them like they do on the wrapper, which is insane. Speaking of which, those are probably the best Reese's. How do you guys say that? Reese's or Reese? I know some people say Reese. I've always said Reese's, but the holiday ones, they're so smooth. You pair that with white chocolate, oh man, S tier combo. This elevator here kind of reminded me of Willy Wonka's factory. And now we are heading to New York, New York. I kind of wanted to ride that roller coaster sticking out there, but Chris said he's rode it before. Pause. And he said it was mid, so I passed on it. This was pretty neat though. It's like we were walking through an indoor town. Oh yeah, and if you notice a bunch of people dressed as cowboys or wearing cowboy hats, it's because in Vegas, apparently there's this thing called Cowboy Christmas, which is like an annual event or something, and also a tradition that's been going on here for quite a while now. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this was in December, so that's why you're seeing all of these guys. It's funny because we were at the airport boarding our plane and we're wondering why half the people flying with us were wearing cowboy hats. I mean, I get it's Texas, but, you know, it's still out of the ordinary. Obviously, now we know why. Another crazy tidbit about Las Vegas, and you probably already knew this, but there are slot machines waiting for you as soon as you land. Literally in the airport. I mean, I don't know, I guess in case you start tweaking out or something, and you just can't hold in the urge to gamble anymore. This is something I already knew about before going to Vegas, but just seeing it in person is something else, you know. This looked pretty interesting. Mad Apple. Some type of show. I mean, the design's cool. And then there was this guy. You're not fooling anyone. I'm on to you. Oh, that's where here's another shot of New York. That's another place on my bucket list. Which I'll be down to watch an ASMR in a New York video. Let me know. Let me know. We never went in that castle-looking thing over there. Oh, whoa, okay, sorry about that. Camera's tweaking. But right now we're making our way back to the hotel. And FYI, you do a lot of walking in Vegas. Oh, just up ahead, I didn't get a chance to film this, but there were these street performers dressed as Mario and Luigi. And apparently Mario had a heat stroke or something because he was on the ground. Luigi's right there, kneeled down beside him, waiting for an ambulance to show up while a crowd of people form around them. I was like, what is going on? It felt like a fever dream. Anyway, we get back to the hotel. This was later on at night. Got an amazing view of the Sphere from our room, thanks to the receptionist. The boys wanted to go gamble, so that's where we're headed now. To the Venetian. You can see it from here. I thought this little entrance area was kind of cute. The little river and the bridges. And I mean, it just comes together really nicely, especially at night with all the lights. And no, I'm not talking about the red and blue ones that are flashing right now. I don't know what the hell the cops are doing there, but I mean, just look at that. Looks like we're going to the club. Anyway, I didn't gamble at all that night, and nobody else won, so now we're leaving. Empty-handed, defeated, vengeful. We'll be back. But this was the vibe, though. Purple Vegas. Woke up to this the next day, and then we went to Hell's Kitchen for brunch. I barely filmed anything there, so I'll talk more about the food in depth later when I get a better chance. But for now, this is what the beef Wellington looked like. And here's the sticky toffee pudding, which was so good. After brunch, we made our way to Caesar's Palace. They decorated pretty nice in here for Christmas. The red really pops. Again, this was like 2 years ago, so I don't know if they did anything different with it last year. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for round 2 of gambling. And this time I did participate. Walking through here kind of reminded me of the WinStar casino we visit back home. On occasion, I don't really gamble often, but when I do, we drive an hour or so to Oklahoma, since there aren't really any casinos in Texas, and I don't know how to play poker, or blackjack, or craps, etc. Any of those type of games, I just stick to slots. And I almost never win, which is why I hardly even play in the first place. But as you can see, I got super lucky this time around. The first machine I sat down at, 2 spins in, and I managed to hit the bonus, which was around $400. Nothing crazy, but for me that's actually insane. After that, I didn't even touch another machine. That was good enough for me. The forum shops were right there next to the casino, so we decided to go walk through there afterwards. Not that we had any business doing so. I should mention Chris had been to Vegas a few times before this, so he was sort of acting as a tour guide for the rest of us, which was great because I wouldn't have the slightest idea of where to go and how to get around on my own. But while we're here, I think now's a good enough time to talk about our brunch from earlier at Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen was actually on Gio's to-do list, and Gio is the other friend that came with us. He actually recently became a dad. Congrats, Gio. It's so weird seeing one of your friends have a kid, though. Like, I'm just over here chilling. I don't know if I'm ever gonna have a kid, let alone anytime soon. But back to Hell's Kitchen. I mean, the place looked pretty sick from the inside. Ceiling lights designed as pitchforks. It's kind of crazy. We each went with the signature prefix, which is a 3-course meal that they offer for like $100. give you a choice between pan-seared scallops and some sort of salad. I ended up going with the scallops, which were delectable. I don't think I've ever tried scallops before this, so I don't really have like a base to compare it to, but they were pretty good, texture, taste. It was all pretty good. The second course they brought out was Gordon Ramsay's signature beef Wellington. And for this one, I don't know. The beef Wellington itself was okay, and I wasn't a big fan of the wine sauce they paired with it. But I'm not really a big fan of wine in general, so I guess it kind of makes sense why I didn't like the sauce. This course wasn't bad by any means. I just think I overhyped it in my head. And the last course, of course, was the sticky toffee pudding, which was so good. I don't even know what sticky toffee pudding is. Like, what is that even made out of? This was maybe my favorite course of the meal. All in all, the food was pretty good. Yeah, I'd give it an 8 out of 10 overall. Now, would I go again? Probably not. I'm broke as shit, so if I wasn't such a brokey, then maybe I would just try the other things on the menu. Alright, now we're leaving Caesar's. By the way, how many of you have been to Vegas before? I'm a curious creature. For those who've gone, what all did you do? We only stayed 3 nights, so obviously we weren't. That's where we were staying, by the way, the Westin. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, we didn't get to do everything on each of our lists. I would have loved to go visit Omega Mart. I saw a TikTok of it, and it just seems like it'd be such a crazy interactive experience. I saw a lot of TikToks. There was this one about a pizza cone place that looks good too. We'll just have to try it next time we go, but now we are. Any guesses to where we're going? Any? Come on. Oh, you can sort of see it. Yeah, there it is. The Sphere. We made it. Going to the Sphere was actually at the top of my to-do list in Vegas. The line to get in was insane though. It wrapped around the whole Sphere. And this is what it looks like when you finally get inside. Did you guys see Gort there? Make sure you say hi to Gort. This is something I didn't know about though. Apparently there's this whole lobby that's one half of the Sphere where they just have AI robots you can just walk up to and talk to. I think the only one of us who actually went up to talk to one was Chris. I don't know, AI's getting a little too scary for me, man. And it's moving so fast, too. But here's more of what the lobby looked like. Pretty dope. They went crazy with these hoop-looking things. We had to wait here for a bit until we were able to, or when we were allowed to go to our seats. And on our way up, we got to see these cool holograms. Yes, sir, the gang's all here. That's my cousin at the end. And, that's Gio right there. This is the actual theater room. I don't know what you would call it, but as you can see, the screen is massive. It wraps pretty far behind us. There's Chris. You've probably seen these guys here and there throughout the vlog. The film we were watching was called Postcard from Earth, directed by Darren Aronofsky, and we're basically just traversing through Earth and seeing a bunch of cool scenery, different environments. You can't show the whole thing here, obviously. I think the runtime was closer to an hour or so, but here's some of it. And there was also like wind at some point, I swear, so it was sort of like a 4D thing they had going on. But let me shut up and let you listen to some of it.
It multiplied. Life changed, taking on many forms.
Every form it could imagine itself to be. It yearned.
Our ears to her moans.
And this is when we were leaving. It's funny how the credits just all fit on one screen. What did you think? This was one of my favorite parts of the trip. I mean, everything we did was a lot of fun. I had such a great time in Vegas, man. I would recommend checking out the Sphere. The only thing is, it is very pricey. We were able to save some money using SeatGeek. Not a sponsor, obviously. We also didn't have to worry about parking either. We just walked there. We did have dinner at Margaritaville afterwards, but I did not record any of it. I got a burger. It was pretty good. This was the next morning, our final day in Las Vegas. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. Right now we're headed to get some lunch. What caught our eye was this Korean barbecue place. It's a chain called Jen's, and there's one back home we always go to, so we wanted to visit this one and see how it compares. I was surprised they had one here in Vegas, and it turns out there are some differences in the menus. At the Vegas location, they have a bunch of sushi you can pick from, along with takoyaki and some other stuff. Yeah. Got some brisket back there. And this cutie patootie serving the food. And the food was great. I wish the Gens back home had sushi as an option. We walked around Planet Hollywood afterwards since Gens was already located inside. And this was another one of those indoor mall areas made to look as if it were outside. Sparkly, 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 sparkly. This is it. Last night in Vegas. Our flight was at like 8 in the morning the next day, so we wouldn't really have time to do anything else tomorrow. Yep, just taking it all in before we leave. Oh, is that Polly? Another place on my bucket list. I took French for like 3 years in high school, and I've already forgotten all of it. Oh, this guy was going crazy, though. There's so much cool stuff to see just walking around at night. Also, a lot of adult advertisements kind of shoved in your face, but I mean, come on, it's Vegas. Oh, and I actually did end up getting a souvenir. It was a beanie that says Las Vegas on it. That was it. Nothing crazy. I picked it up at a Walgreens. I have an employee discount, which came in handy. It just gave me an excuse to go into Walgreens. Man, this place looks amazing at night. besides all the light pollution. I mean, I would hate to see the electric bill too. You know what I'm saying? I think I read somewhere that Las Vegas is the brightest city on Earth. And we're back at the hotel. This was around the time I filmed the Las Vegas hotel room video that should be out by now. Oh, I think we woke up the baby. My bad, baby. I thought I was doing a decent job whispering, but I guess not. What are you looking at? Oh yeah, anyway, thank you so much for joining us on this trip. It was so much fun. I can't wait to go back. Hope you enjoyed this whispered vlog, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Yo, whose baby is this? Actually, whose idea was it to put a baby's face on here anyway? Is that CGI?